We are back on the toll-free line with Matt, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hi.
Hello, Tom.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. I love your show. You do a really great job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the comments, and say hi to David from the New York Times. He's right here.
Hello, David.
Hi, Matt.
Yes, my question is, does Judge Ito do much socializing with the lawyers when the trial is not in session? Like, say, go to the bar for a drink or something like that?
No, I don't think Judge Ito is going out in public terribly much. If he's socializing with the lawyers, it's back in his chambers. You know, I think that he's such a lightning rod at this point that I don't think there are a lot of public Ito sightings.
Well, I think it would also be the height of indiscretion for him to socialize at all with prosecution or defense. But I can tell you, Matt, that I don't know much about Marcia Clark and her team, but Shapiro and Bailey are all over Los Angeles, at bars, at parties. They are true celebrities in this town right now.
Well, they're much more social animals than the prosecutors. And of course, they can afford to be social animals, too.
Yeah, with that kind of, right. Matt, I'm glad you called. Thank you for your compliments, sir.
Thank you very much,
My
Tom.
pleasure.
You keep up the good work.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. How about yourself? You in effect, are sequestered as well. You're a man from New York City or New York area. You live and work in New York for the New York Times. And all of a sudden, here you are in Los Angeles, probably stuck in a hotel or an apartment and working on the road, as it were.
Well, I'm referring to myself as the San Francisco bureau chief in exile these days, because in September I was supposed to have moved to San Francisco
to
have taken over the bureau, and I actually got there, and all my personal possessions are in a warehouse there. And before
Can you think of a better job in all the world than the bureau chief in San Francisco for the New York Times?
That's why I took it, Tom.
Yeah, that's a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a great
But they
job.
won't let me go there. You know.
Well, see, I have a home. I have a home in the Bay Area. It was my dream to go there,
Yeah.
but you know, they won't let me go there either.
Well, you know, part of the idea was that I went to law school 17 years ago. I got out of law school. I think that's what it is, if my math is correct. And I've been writing about law and lawyers ever since. I mean, this book is, you know, filled with all the things that I've written. And at long last, I wanted to get away from them. And the whole idea of going to San Francisco was to try to write about the rest of the world and not just about courts and law and lawyers and law firms. And I have to say that I feel there's that scene in The Godfather 3 where Al Pacino says, "I'm trying to get away and they keep drawing me back." And that's what happened to me. You know, I mean, I got up there, and then the people at my paper decided
those people
to bring me down here, and I've been here ever since.
Will you survive? Yeah.
I'll survive this round.
Okay. Okay.
The first trial.
Let me ask you here about one of the stories in your book, At the Bar, in which you write about a fellow who was with a law firm for a long time, and because he wasn't a rainmaker, and you can explain what that is, they cashiered him.
Well, one of the themes in my book is how the legal profession has changed over the years. I mean, the legal profession is really, everybody seems to be very interested in it, but not a lot of people have written about it for lay people. It's filled with its own secrets. One of the secrets really is that in the last 10 or 15 years, it's gotten much more cutthroat and competitive. Law partnerships in big firms, big elite Wall Street firms, used to be lifetime sinecures. And that's all changed now, and if you don't produce, you're out on the street. And the story about this guy was that he had been a partner at a very reputable firm, and his partners just decided to get rid of him because he wasn't producing. And he was in his 50s. He couldn't find another job. He was sort of overqualified for most law jobs, and he eventually took a job as a limousine driver because he couldn't find any other work. And the great fear in his life was that at one point or another he'd be driving a limousine and one of his former partners would be sitting in the back seat. It's very poignant.
Yeah, but it happens all the time.
But it happens all the time now.
In every business.
That's
law,
right. But it never used to happen in the law.
A lot of things that are happening in America in terms of relationships between employers and employees never used to happen in America. You know, we're coming to a time where there will be no more Ford families, GM families, CBS families. You know, all of a sudden everybody's temp.
Right.
Everybody's day hire. Cindy, Elgin, Illinois, quickly, hello.
Hi. I'm a professional journalist, and I write for the print medium, and I wanted to know how both you and David feel about the entertainment industry, for example, talk show hosts or radio personalities giving the, quote, media a bad rap. People don't seem to distinguish between professional journalists and entertainment industry, and I just wanted to know how you felt about that.
Well, I think, you know, these people make our job very difficult, particularly in a story like this. You know, there are an awful lot of people who don't really want to talk to the LA Times or the New York Times when they can get money talking to somebody else. And the whole line between entertainment and news, and between good editorial judgment and entertainment, I mean, it's blurred everything and made things much more difficult for us.
And the point I would add, agreeing with all that David has said, Cindy, is that it's so tacky the way some elements of our industry try to make this into something other than what it is, which is a capital case involving a man on trial for the rest of his life and the deaths of 2 people. It's almost like this is a CinemaScope movie playing out down at your neighborhood theater. And every day we have a different set of people who are in the lead roles. And they are given a sense of celebrity, but not a sense of taking part in a criminal action involving very, very important matters. Cindy, I'm glad you called, and I thank you for your time tonight.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, good night. Good. David, a pleasure. Thank you for being here, and bear up, and I hope that someday you find your way to Bureau Chief of New York Times at San Francisco.
Maybe I'll see you there.
I would hope so. In fact, if you want somebody to pick the type out of the job case, I'll come up there and do it for you.
It would be my
David
pleasure.
Margolick, his book is called At the Bar, Wonderful Stories Inside the Legal Profession That Have Nothing at All to Do with Perry Mason. Back with Lincoln Diaz-Balart, the American policy vis-a-vis Cuban refugees after these messages.